She was born September 16th, 2006, and we knew before she was born that she was missing a ventricle. Told us that probably we wouldn't get to hold her because they would have to whisk her away because of the severity of her defect. And she started then surprising everybody. And she was pink, she was beautiful, she was crying, and we got to hold her and spend time with her. They sent us home wanting her to grow and waiting for whenever her first surgery was needed. And when she was 6 weeks old, she underwent her first, what they called minor surgery. Her minor surgery wasn't so minor. It was kind of deja vu for Bob and I. After surgery, the surgeon first came to us and was not happy with how the surgery went. They had to shock her heart during surgery, and the band that they put on her artery was not as tight as they had hoped. And after surgery, Bob and I were both in the intensive care unit with her when the nurse called for help. And we stood by the bedside watching the doctors and nurses frantically work with her. And they had to call the crash cart in, but luckily didn't have to use it. She spent about a week in the hospital then, recovered well, and once again they sent us home in hopes that she would grow. They were hoping to have her second surgery when she was 3 months old. Tessa had difficulty growing. At 3 months, she still was not at the weight she needed to be. At 7 months, they decided to do a heart cath to see what her heart looked like, what they were up against. So they went in and did the catheterization. Again, a minor procedure for most, but again, it was not a minor procedure for Tessa. And we waited hours for anything, and we didn't hear. And finally, we were called into a meeting with the surgeon at that point. And that is when they broke the news to us that they almost lost Tessa during the catheterization, and that her only hope was a heart transplant. And so they put her on the transplant list. And once again, Tessa took a turn for the worse, and they couldn't release her. And she got sicker and sicker and got a bad cough, and her days were spent on my shoulder. I put her down that night, and I knelt down to say my prayers, and I was looking at a picture of my 4 girls at Christmas. And after I said my prayers, I sat down and I said, "Okay, God, if this is the best you can give her, you can have her back now." An hour later, I got a call that they had a heart for her.
You know, you get such feelings of, wow, you know, because we knew how bad it was. And I think I had gotten the girls to bed. We hadn't been very long, so I said, "Girls, we got to get back up. We're going back. Tessa's going to get a new heart in the morning." I think it was finally 8 o'clock that they said, "We're going to prep her now." And everybody had to say, not goodbye, but good luck, I guess, you know. Emma wouldn't even talk to her. She knew. And she knew what she was going through.
It was really hard. Most of the time I wouldn't even look at her because I knew she wasn't doing very well.
We spent a lot of our time on our knees praying that day. Every hour the nurse would come in and update us, and it was always a great update. I always called the principal at St. George School in Lynn because she was very close to Emma and she wanted an update. And little did I know, every hour when I called her, she did an all-school announcement, and the whole school stopped and said a prayer for Tessa. My sisters were up there, and one of them took Emma up to Children's Hospital has a rooftop garden, which is a beautiful place. And so one of my sisters took Emma just to get some fresh air, and they happened to be up there when the helicopter came in with Tessa's heart.
Yeah, it was kind of exciting because you just saw it fly over and then land on the roof.
So they saw the heart come in, and every hour was a great update from the nurse. And then when Dr. Gandy came in, the minute he walked in the door, we knew it was great news. He had a big smile on her face, and he looked at us, and the first thing he said was, "She's pinker than you've ever seen her before." She did great. And the nurses and doctors all commented coming into Tessa's cardiac intensive care unit that they loved coming to her room because nobody ever smiled in there, and Tessa was all smiles. So from then, we have had absolutely no difficulties with her. Well, we became active with the Heart Association right after Emma's first surgery at 6 months old, and I had seen a commercial about the heart ball on TV, and I thought, how can we help? Because, we got information from them about Emma's heart defect. They helped us connect to people who had been through the similar surgery that Emma had been through. And after we knew things were great and we'd never have to go through anything like that again, we thought, let's give back to people who need help. The Heart Walk is what we kind of became most active in. But then we thought, we're going to take Emma to the Heart Ball, and that'll be our special thing with her every year. And so we did start going to the Heart Ball every year. She looked forward to it every year, and then when we had our other girls, that's the special time in their life. We didn't want the Heart Association to give back to us again and again and again, but they have. And we know that the research and the money raised by the Heart Association has definitely saved our girls' lives. And we, not only the research, but the people who are in charge of the Heart Association have become dear, dear friends. And they're like family. And so they're very special to us. And everyone who comes to the Heart Ball, joins in the Heart Walk, are just very special people to us.
You can't really put into words what we feel they have done. I mean, just the research, if we were 20 years older, we'd probably have 2 children. There's no explanation for what we have gained from the research and knowledge that has grown through the Heart Association, the money they've gained and given to research and development for new procedures. And I couldn't imagine life without them, because we'd have 2 fewer children, more than likely.
We've been involved with the Heart Association for about 16 years now. We are grateful for everything the Heart Association has done for our family and for us, and we are very honored that they've chosen Tessa to recognize this year at the Heart Ball. It's
been a long ride. Been through a lot with our girls, but this is a very nice honor for them. It's been a big honor, yes. And like I said 9 years ago, it's an honor that we wish we didn't have.
I have 3 big sisters, and I'm the littlest, and their names are Emma, Anna, Leah. Emma plays volleyball, and Anna plays volleyball and archery, and Leah plays volleyball, dance, and archery. I like dance on Mondays because we have free dance and I can do the splits.
She never sits still. She's always dancing, playing volleyball, softball.
We always joke around, we think she may have gotten a boy's heart because she is just on the go. She's always fired and all cylinders and ready to roll. Loves to dance, loves everything. I mean, very enthusiastic, just a little miracle.
I think the best dancer in my family is me. I go to Fatima. My favorite thing is recess. My teacher's mom. She's a good teacher. I'm looking forward at the Heart Ball to dance and riding in limo. Life is great, thank you.